Hi guys, in this final tutorial we're going to be using Lumion to complete the rendering for our IP design. So let's get started by creating a new project, and here you have a few backgrounds that you can choose from. So to appeal to our customers, we want to try to stick to either rural or a suburban environment. So either one of these ones, so either the forest environment or the suburban environment, would be good. So here I'm just going to use the forest environment. Now it's going to take a little bit of time to create the project, so we'll come back when it finishes setting it up. Okay, so now it's finished setting up this empty environment for us to place our building into. So we're going to start by importing a new model down here. So we're going to start with our main building, and we're just going to leave it like that. Default settings are fine. And oh, it's too close. Let's zoom out a little bit. Now, when you're placing the building, you can hold R to rotate. So you hold R and then you move your mouse around to rotate the object. So now we're just going to place it down here like that, and then you can use the select tool if you need to move it again. So you can click on this blue dot and drag it around to move it. But I'm just going to leave it here like this. This is fine. Okay, so next I'm going to import the rest of the models that we made, which are the front door, and I'm just going to place it down where it should be in the frame. It doesn't have to be exact when you first place it down, you can adjust it afterwards. So I'm just going to place it down here. And I'm going to import a new model, the interior doors. And I'm just going to place one here. Now, if we need to rotate it so that it's in the correct spot, again, just hold R to rotate. And we're just going to place it in the frame there. All right, and you can do that. You can repeat this for all the other doors. I'm just going to leave it here like this. Okay. So actually, for these interior doors, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rotate tool, and I'm actually just going to open them up like this. So because we set the pivot point at the corner here for the door, when we rotate it, it's going to be very easy to do. So I'm just going to rotate it open like that. And so all of these interior doors can be opened so that you can see into each room. All right. So finally, the sliding panel for the rear door here. And I'm just going to place it. Now you'll notice that all the materials in this project are kind of a bit messed up, but that's okay. We can edit all of them manually in Lumion, so they'll all look exactly how you want it. Okay, so we just need to adjust this a little bit. You'll notice that if you can't exactly get it where you want, you can use these move up and move horizontal so that you can fine tune exactly where it goes. Okay, so let's just check its positioning. Okay. All right, so that's the placing of the Revit model. So now I'm going to show you the basics of Lumion. So again, as you've noticed, the materials are all basically how you set them in Revit, but they don't look very good in Lumion. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this Materials tab, and this is the Material Editor, and you can just click on each kind of surface and change the material to whatever you want. So there are a range of options. There's indoor materials and outdoor materials. So let's select one of these wood floorings. Okay. And if you'd like to change the color or the glossiness or anything, you can just double click and it'll open up a more advanced customization, and you can change these settings to how you see fit. So for example, if I want this to be a bit lighter, I can change the color to white and just increase the colorization a little bit. This reduces the coloring, but yeah, you can change for example, if you need it to be lighter, then maybe a yellow would work better, or a lighter orange. But you get the idea. So once you're happy with the changes, click this check mark, and it will save the changes for you. And we can do that for everything that kind of doesn't look correct. So you'll notice that even though these skirtings were modeled as separate objects in Revit, because they were assigned the same material as the door frames, for example, changing one will change all of them. So for this example, let's make this let's make this a plaster, and we can make this more white if we need to. So let's just choose this for now, and we'll change the color to white, like that. So that's how you can change the materials for each object. So I'm just going to leave the rest like this for now, for the sake of the tutorial. But for your one, yeah, just go through and change everything so that it all looks exactly as you feel it should look. So also for this, please refer to the practical list, the IP design practical list. It'll give you an idea of how everything should look if you feel overwhelmed. So for example, these cabinets are specified in the practical list to be a gloss white. So for this example, we can use a plastic. Go to the last tab, you will see these glossy plastic options. Just double click, and we can just change the colorization to white, and there we go. So now you have a glossy white cabinet. It's as easy as that. Okay, so that's the materials. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to model or how to visualize the downlights. So lighting is very important for this rendering process. It'll give you a much better final image. So to create the lights, we're going to go to the content library, and we're going to go to this lights option here. Okay, so if we double click this, it'll open up this lights library, and you have a few options, but here we're going to use the spotlights, and specifically we're going to use one of these ones here. So I'm going to use lamp 3 because I in my opinion, it gives the most kind of broad lighting effect. And we're just going to place, for example, if we want a downlight here, we're just going to place one here. And you'll see that it's been placed inside the ceiling. So if we go to the select tool, we can see that the light is here and it's inside the ceiling. So what we want to do is actually we want to click on it so that you can see this properties tab here, and we're going to show the light source. Now at the moment you can't see it because it's in the ceiling. So what we're going to do is we're going to, with the select tool, we're going to type in a coordinate, and we're going to change this y coordinate. So we're just going to reduce this by 0.01. So drop this down to 3.17. And now you can see the bottom of the light source. And this gives you the effect of having a downlight. Now you can also adjust the lighting properties. So for example, the brightness, we can change this to make it brighter or dimmer. Or we can also change the angle as well. I would suggest to increase the angle to as high as you can, just to kind of simulate the effect of the downlights that light up the entire room. Now, for the purposes of the render, make sure to disable night activation so that the lights are always on. And for the shadows, it depends on how strong your computer is, but I would suggest just leaving it at medium. Medium is perfectly suitable. You don't really need to go higher than that. Okay, so that's the downlight. You can repeat this by just creating more lights. You don't have to edit each one individually. What you can do is just place all the lights at once and then select all of them. So you can select by just holding Control. So you see the controls keyboard shortcuts are on the right here. So if you hold Control, you can drag and select all the downlights that you place, and then change the settings all at once. Okay, so that's the downlights. The next thing I'm going to show you is obviously we need to add furniture. So to add furniture, again in the content library, there's a lot of different options. So indoor will give you all of your indoor furniture options. So you have tables, you have chairs, you have appliances, shelves and storage and so on. For the outdoors, if you want to design a garden, then you have nature, this nature tab. Yeah, so please feel free to kind of be creative and play around with all these different options. This is up to you to design. And now finally, the last thing I want to show is I'm going to show you how to animate the doors for the walkthrough video. Now, once you've completed all of the furnishings, and you've placed everything you need to place, all the lighting and everything is ready for the actual kind of rendering. So once you're ready to take photos and create the video, what we're going to go to is these tabs here. So the first tab is the photo tab. So the photo tab lets you preview what the rendered images will look like. So you can move the camera around and you can change the settings here. And then when you click on this image, it will render the picture with a high quality finish. Now you can save camera angles by on this camera reel here. So if you, for example, if you want to save this angle, you just click on this icon, store camera, and it will save it here. And then if you, for example, if you want another one here, then store camera, and it'll save it there. So now you can just quickly jump to different camera angles by clicking on these images. Okay, so that's the photo tool. When you're ready, you can click on this render photos button, and you can either render individual shots one by one, or you can render the entire set and render them at your native desktop resolution. Okay, so that's the photos. Next, I'm going to show you the video walkthrough. So for the video walkthrough, we use this movie tool, and now with the default for this forest environment, it actually comes with this handheld camera effect, and we don't want this effect, so we're just going to delete this, remove it by clicking on this button twice. And now we can edit this clip by clicking on this icon here. And we can, so it comes with 2 keyframes by default, so we can delete these just to start fresh. And we're going to start, for example, at the front of the building here. So we're going to add a camera frame. And then the next frame it's going to move to is over here. And then it's going to go over here. So remember Q and E to go up and down. And now we're going to stop in front of this sliding door. And we're actually going to move through this sliding door into the interior of the building. But to do that, we need to animate the sliding door so that it opens as our camera goes through. So I'll show you how that looks at the moment. So we want to get close to the door and add a keyframe, and then go through and add another keyframe. We can make it look over here. Okay, so if we click on this this previous frame and play, this is what it looks like. So it kind of just goes through the door. And so now we want to animate the door. So we need to find the timestamp where we're moving through the door so that we know when to animate it. So let's play it again and pay attention to the timestamp. So right here, it's approximately 38 seconds into the video. So if we start opening the door at around 35 seconds and finish opening it by around 38, then it'll be perfect. Okay, so let's do that. So let's save this clip. And now we're going to go to Add Effects, go down to Animation and Advanced Move. And now we're going to add a time offset of approximately 30 seconds. And edit. So now, we said before that we need to animate the door at approximately 35 seconds. Now, because we added the time offset of 30 seconds, that means that we're going to open the door at 5 seconds. So the time offset will be useful because you'll find that you don't have a very big window to animate the doors. If you start animating the doors at 35 seconds, you won't have enough time at the end to animate a door if you decide to, for example, exit through the front door here. So by adding a time offset, we can start animating the rear door at 5 seconds, and then we may have enough time at the end to animate the front door. Okay, so let's move to approximately 5 seconds. And at this 5 seconds, we're going to just very slightly move the object click on this sliding door, and we're going to move it just a very small amount, just a tiny amount. Just make sure that it doesn't, oh no, okay. Let's, so because we just need to make sure that it's in the correct position again. So the reason this is because of the way that we save the model in Revit. So what we can do is we can actually just rotate this object. So let's rotate it around so that it doesn't go through the wall. Okay, and now it should be easier to animate. Okay, so now it shouldn't have moved too much from its initial position, and you'll notice here that it's created the first keyframe. So now, when we move to, let's say 6 seconds, we can move this door slightly more. And the door will animate in between these 5 and 6 seconds, this amount. Then let's move to 7 seconds and open it even more. So this will kind of give it the effect of it accelerating open. Let's open it even more than this. And finally at 8 seconds, we want it to essentially finish opening. So it's going to stop right around here. Okay. So now remember that because we rotated it, we will need to rotate it in the build mode as well. Otherwise, you'll see that it starts to rotate in the animation, and we don't want that. So select it. Oh, sorry, rotate. And you can okay, sorry, we'll need to go to imported models. So click this first, and now you can click on it to rotate it. Rotate there, and let's move it into position. Okay, that looks good. All right, so let's see what it looks like for the movie. So if we just quickly go through like this, okay, you'll notice that the door opened a bit too early. So it opened right there. Now we can adjust it by just increasing the time offset here. And oh, you notice, so the time offset actually, we need to decrease the time offset. So let's do that. Should be -30, I think. No, oh yes. Perfect. So that's what the door animation now looks like. So as we approach, the door opens up and we can go through. Now you can also add an animation to close the door after the camera moves through it, but I'll leave that to you. I won't be doing that in this tutorial. So that's how to animate doors for the walkthrough video. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, if there are things that I missed, please feel free to email me, or if you need to, if you don't understand how I explain something, please feel free to just look up on YouTube tutorial videos. There are many that can help you. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. Good luck, and thanks for watching.